What is going on, peeps? Happy Tuesday. Welcome back to another episode of the Wisemen Say podcast, powered by Yano Media. Ty Fisher alongside Jerald Lucas. My friend, how art thou?
All right, how art thou? I'm doing wonderful, man. Great weekend. I'm pumped, in the gym, saying better healthish, just overall I'm happy, man. You know what I'm saying? I did learn a couple things out there in Chicago, so one, the crew is damn good, right? And my host has an obsession with chocolate chip granola bars.
I do.
If he could put a ring on it, I swear to God, he.
Girlfriend might get mad at me. My girlfriend might get pissed off at me, but she knows I love these things.
It's either me or the granola bar.
Considering she hasn't let me down yet, I don't know what I can say to that. So I mean, Jesus Christ.
How are you though, man?
Just trying to share out the show. No, man. It's been good. It's been a great week. Not only for Columbus soccer, but for me, work all last week. Me and you were able to get to Chi-Town over the weekend. No, it's just been good. It's been, chill, laid back and whatnot, and ready to do it all over again this week.
Hey, I take everything back I said about Ohio drivers, because Jesus Christ.
Yeah, bro. Chicago traffic is bad. Chicago drivers are shit.
We have signs that say no driving on the berm. They don't.
They don't give a fuck. They don't care. Chicago drivers are shit, man.
And then we saw right now. We saw the one guy on the bike riding on the shoulder with no hands. Like he's got balls.
Yeah. Other than that, I mean, good week for everything. Weather was nice.
It was indeed a beautiful weekend for some footy.
It was. Excuse me, chewing up that last bit of granola bar. Busy, not really busy show for you guys today, but we got a lot to talk about. Got some recaps to go over. Joe's going to provide an update on Crew 2. We're going to talk Crew versus Orlando City this weekend. We're going to give our MLS predictions. And, of course, the last segment, we are going to do yellow card, red card. All of this here on the Wisemen Say podcast. Jerald, my friend, to start us off, we had a midweek match. Columbus Crew taking on CF Montreal up in the good old country of Canada.
Hey.
Crew win 3-1. Let's just talk about our thoughts of that game really quick.
So you didn't know what to expect, right? Before, going into the game, you got the availability reports. Cucho and Jason Russell was out. Jason was questionable. Cucho was out. So it's just like you didn't know what to expect, right? Is it going to be a 1-1? Is it going to be a 0-0? What was going to be the case, right? And I don't know if it was a talk between Cucho and Rossi, but sure enough, Rossi opened up his MLS scoring, book for the 2024 season. And man, it just was we go up, what was it, 1-0? And then
Max Arston.
man,
continues to be hot for Columbus.
Mad Max.
Somebody should make a rail banner for that. That'd be funny.
Yeah, with the Mad Max car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And him driving it.
Yeah. But nonetheless, going into the halftime, there's that an iffy call, man, honestly. The PK. Yeah, it as Nazi said post game, it was soft, but it's the letter of the law, right? You got to follow, you're supposed to follow the letter of the law as an official, right? So we go into halftime 1-1. Don't know what was said at halftime because I can't remember what Nazi said. But the team looked different coming out of half. Even though it was still the same 11 that was out there, it just looked like a completely different team, right? And love Courtois to death, but Columbus put the screws to him in that second half. So
yeah, I can't remember who it was that said something on Twitter. But I can't remember who it was, whoever it was, shout out to you. That said I credit Courtois' respect for Nancy for not playing the Hack Morris and Ding Darlington game that the rest of the league played. Columbus leads the league as the team that has been fouled the most.
It's over 200.
So I agree with that sentiment though. Like the mutual respect between Courtois and Nancy for Courtois not to have his players beat up our midfield is just that you have to give flowers to that.
It is. And I can't remember if it was asked to. No, Christian touched on it. Hold on. Did you take it down? You would foul me, Tommy. That's all right. We can have a peanut butter fight. No, but Christian touched on it a little bit this weekend, right? That teams are coming into games to foul.
Miguel. We love Miguel Berry this way.
I know.
We love Miguel Berry over here in Columbus.
And Derek Etienne. What are you talking about?
That's fair. Yeah, true that.
No, but Christian touched that teams are out to foul Columbus to try to get Columbus off their game, right? So, and we've seen it. Case in point, hell is real. If you go after Aiden and Darlington, you're taking out the team's central command system right there. So it's going to be hard for those forwards to do their job. At least our forward doesn't fake an injury. Like Almada. But it's got to be consistent with the refs.
Almada faked an injury?
It looked like he faked it because he came out early in the first half about a game or two ago. And when the camera showed him, he was sitting there laughing on the sideline, just, on the bench having fun.
Oh, I missed that then.
And then, Pineda turned around and said, oh, it was a precautionary, bring him out, whatever. But he credited Gigi for toughing it out through an injury for the game. So
I missed that.
Oh, yeah.
But this Crew Montreal game was, I think, the turning point after the bitter loss to those clowns down south,
the Kentucky Clowns.
So I think this this win, I mean, to start a 6-game road stretch, I think getting a win in Montreal was on the right foot. Is getting us back to, the Crew winning ways.
I mean, it was crucial going into this road trip, right?
Yeah.
To take at least one or two of the first 2 road games, right? Because the following game is the Clash of the Continent, against Pachuca, So you want to go in having all the momentum that you can, right? So, it's this one was very beneficial. We'll touch on that later too, Manuel. But that Montreal game, it was just, I'm not gonna say it was perfection, right? But it was beautiful. You had, Arston with the banger, right? You had Rossi get on the board, and who was the third one? Fuck, I can't remember who scored third. Was it Christian?
Nah, Christian's got Marina Hinestrosa.
Yeah. Because he did a little salsa dance.
Yeah, I'm actually about to. Yeah, let me share my screen. That's what I was trying to find was this. There we go. Yeah, so we got Arsene in the 19th, Diego Rossi in the 59th, Hinestrosa in the 89th.
I mean, Hinestrosa came on and immediately made an impact.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And he did his little salsa dance. Because I think that was the one, because didn't Herrera get the player of the match?
Yeah.
With 2 assists?
Yeah, 2 assists, yep.
Yeah, because he had because it went Herrera, Christian. It went Christian, Herrera, Christian, Rossi.
For Diego's goal?
Yeah.
Yep.
Because it started with Christian with the interception, or Herrera got the first interception, got it over to Christian. Christian started, saw Herrera streaking, passed to Herrera. He went running with Herrera, got the pass there and towards the corner, and he found Diego unmarked.
Steven thought he overhit Christian because you could just see him stop and put his hands on his head. But the hustle by Ramirez to get that ball back across the face of goal, pass Sirra and get it to Rossi, who was that trailing run at the back post was great. But the third goal is what got me. Champagne soccer at its finest.
And that was
Marino.
That was Amundsen to Marino, wasn't it? No,
it was Aiden to Steven to Marino.
And he did his little Flintstone foot twinkle with it and put it home.
Really quick, this Montreal game, right? We saw the debut of Cole Maraca. How do you think he fared for those few minutes he was on the pitch? I mean, it wasn't a long shift.
It wasn't a long, spout, but he got, he looked decent out there, right?
Yeah.
Just for the little bit of time that he had.
Mm-hmm.
Sky's the limit for him. Don't get me wrong. The sky is the limit for him. I think if they can somehow work Taha and him onto the pitch at the same time, you'll see that, you'll see how those two can be a dynamic and change things. But the sky's the limit for him. He looked good honestly, he looked good out there. For it was like maybe 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
He looked good out there, just for those 5 minutes. Now he hasn't played, 10, 15, 20.
Fair. I mean, Biello got a yellow card. in his right.
No, but I mean, he did look good. Now it's time to see how he is if he plays like 20, 25 minutes on the first team. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So see how he performs at that level.
Yeah. Couple days later, the boys, or a day later, guys come back, have the open training for season ticket holders. On Thursday, that was a good time. No Cucho, at the training. He was then listed questionable on Friday for the Chicago game. Then me and you get to Chicago on Saturday. And whatnot. Made great timing. And whatnot. That was a fun trip. But then we get into the stadium. Traffic. Shit. Tell you that. But
we got to run around from everybody that day.
Yeah, I know. It was stupid. But we get to Chicago for Crew Chicago, and this game was just this game was a mess in the first half, I should say.
Well, Moreno was fouled within the first 2 minutes, of the game. So I mean, as soon as he got fouled in the second minute, it shows there the first minute, like, like really, he just kicked off, and you want to, you know what I'm saying? You want to start it off like that? Come on now.
And then 8 minutes later, gets out by the same player, Federico Navarro. And
when's the first yellow come out?
24.
And it didn't even go to Navarro.
It went to Seahos.
So I mean, it was crazy.
I asked this. I talked about this, and I asked or brought it up in post game. The amount of turnovers that this team had in the first half, glaring, honestly, glaring. And it wasn't even like, a bad turnover. It was turnovers in our own half or midfield that then would lead to a Chicago counterattack and whatnot. There was one point in time we turned the ball over and Darlington Nagbe hustled 40 plus yards back from the attacking third to play defender.
Yeah. What about the almost turnover that went across literally like right in front of the goal line? That Patrick had to hurry up. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that one. Yeah.
That was I held my breath on that, like, oh, all the defender had to do was slide.
Yeah.
And it was a tap in. So I mean, the first half, like Nancy said, he was not happy.
Mm-hmm.
And he said the team played sloppy.
Yeah.
Now, that's the first time I've heard Nancy say that the team played sloppy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So there, Nagbe did have, Nagbe had a couple turnovers, though that's uncharacteristic of him, right?
Yeah.
And I did see a tweet in there talking about, when it comes to getting, somebody to play, as a backup to him, said that Darlington Nagbe has regressed this season. I disagree with that tweet.
I know what you're talking about.
Because he hasn't regressed, because he's constantly getting fouled. And you said it too. He ran 40+ yards to hawk somebody down.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if that's talking about regression, he wouldn't have had that speed. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't have the mental, some of the toughness that he has if he's regressing. He'd be too injury prone. But when he's constantly getting fouled, you can't say that's regression. That's the other teams knowing who the best player on the team is, outside of, Cucho, who the best player on the team is, and that's Darlington Nagbe.
I know nothing about this guy.
Neither do I.
Connor. It's I have no idea about that. Asking for an update tomorrow. And I'm hoping that the questions of asking, like, after the game when the player gets hurt, any update will stop. But Nancy told me, because I asked him for an update on Marino after the game. He said it's too soon to talk about when stuff like this happens, because he doesn't chat with the training staff and everybody like that.
Yeah, he doesn't talk with them until, I think, like the next day or on the flight home. Or
so we'll be asking for an update tomorrow on Marino, possibly Cucho also, and also Aiden, and whatnot. See how he's coming along from being injured. He went down a list of people who are playing injured, right? Aiden, Diego. We have Cucho, now Marino. We have Jason. We had Farsi. So we have guys that are playing injured right now, and I forgot to switch this. You guys need to keep me on my toes. We have players that are playing injured and whatnot. I wonder how long it's going to take for Nancy to harp on the fouls at Nagbe and more scared. He kind of touched on it.
Both games.
Yeah, he kind of touched on it both games. I think that's something that I might ask tomorrow. Just get his opinion on it and stuff like that. But he also said, like,
it's football.
Yeah, and the refs need to have common sense, or is that something else?
Needs to have besides common sense, but also consistency.
Yeah.
So he said it's football. There's going to be fouls, but when it's constantly the same player fouling the same player, and you're not calling nothing, you need to be more constant.
Yeah.
Because if you call it here, but you don't call it here, so he's like, but then again, it's football, right? So,
I mean, really,
I don't know what it's going to take for him to finally, publicly come out and say enough is enough. So,
really quick, going through the goals from Chicago, Diego Rossi. Volley into the side netting. That was actually a great goal.
I mean, he just was sitting there, like, he saw the deflection, right?
Mm-hmm.
From Chris Brady, and then he saw the two Fire players just standing there, and so as they're gonna try to head the ball away, Rossi's just sitting there looking at him like, oh, I'm just gonna wait for them to flick it.
And then they run into each other.
And he's like, well, I'll take it. Thank you.
Second goal, back post header from assist from Farsi to Ramirez. Back post runs are starting to become a good thing for Columbus.
Hey, Superman made an appearance in the Windy City.
And then the last one, Jason Russell Rowe, third time's a charm.
Phenomenal goal.
Phenomenal, as Neil Sika put it on the Apple TV.
As somebody said, that ball had hopes and dreams. Because he kicked that ball like it owed him money.
3-1, final score of that game. That was, I'd say that was a success. By the way, knock on wood, the Crew have not lost when me or both of us have been in Chicago. So, knock on wood that the streak continues.
So, ladies and gentlemen, next season, if you guys would like to sponsor us and make sure we are there, we do have a supporter link on our Spotify page.
I'm there. I'm there no matter what. I'm there no matter what.
But did you see on Tehran's goal for Chicago? Like, that was not an actual – it wasn't supposed to be a header. Like, the ball was being crossed, and he just – his head happened – the side of his head just happened to be right there.
Sorry, my thing's starting to come apart. No, I did not. I could care less about Chicago's goal. We won the game.
I mean, it just was too funny though, because he was like right there, and when the ball was being passed, it hit the side of his head and went backward.
Just overall final thoughts of that game. That was a great game.
I love sucking the air out of the press box there in Chicago when the Crew wins.
Proper etiquette needs to be. Well, that's a story for another day.
Yeah.
That's a story for another day.
We did not need bail money that night.
No, we did not. No. I did want to bring up the one question that we talked about, and I actually have another question. So our good friend on Twitter, if I can pull this up. There we go. I hate when Twitter takes too long.
I do want to say, they showed that picture of Schulte glass-eyed after he committed the foul there in the box. I think it was in Montreal.
Mm-hmm.
And, he got the yellow card. And, I asked Nancy against Montreal, what did he say to Patrick? And it was, he didn't really, it was the keeper coach that talked to him more, but Patrick came out, looking good again in Chicago, right? There was that one play where it was 1v1 and he was going for the challenge, but he backed off.
Yeah.
And Nancy said that, asked him about, was he surprised or, happy that, Patrick didn't overcommit, or, whatever. And he's like, he didn't know, looking at it in real time, he didn't know what the decision-making was behind that. So, he was going to sit down with Patrick and take a look at it.
Yeah. So good friend Ghost, we asked you guys for some questions. With the new Rossi and Ramirez with the new Rossi and Ramirez JRR Farsi front line, do we need Cucho? He's electric. We want him, but do we need him? I so hate to even put this out there. I think you both know by now. I understand the dynamic of the entire team. It takes everyone. I'm just putting a question out. So I raise this question to you, Jerald. Does Columbus need Cucho with the front three of Rossi Ramirez and JRR playing well right now?
Yes. And I'm going to say yes because having him out there brings a whole different dynamic to how teams play Columbus. Without him, teams are able to hone in on specific players, right? And stick with them. When you have Cucho, you don't know what side of the field he's going to be on. You don't know if he's going to be, playing a false, acting as a false nine. You don't know if he's going to be a true nine. You don't know if he's going to be out there on the wings, right? So you have to constantly have Cucho in your mind on where is he, which then in turn leaves Rossi, Christian or Jason, Morera, coming all the way from the back, Aiden, Yao, Yevon, whoever else. It leaves those channels open because now Cucho demands at least one or two defenders, right?
Yeah.
So, yes, we need him in the lineup. However, if he, depending on how serious the injury is, don't rush him to come back, from an injury too soon, because that leaves you open to get more injuries, right? So yes, it's good that we have a front line with Jason and Farsi and Ramirez and Rossi and Marino, working like a oiled engine, right? But I just think you throw Cucho into that lineup, there's your NOS tank. You know what I'm saying? There's your boost, your nitro, right? Because now you could go at a faster pace, but Cucho also demands 1 to 2 defenders at the same time.
Yeah. In my opinion, I say we do need Cucho. And it's nothing against, Rossi Ramirez, Jason Russell Rose, nothing against these guys. But I think, in my opinion, I think Cucho is the one that is the mainstay of the front three, right? I think the interchanging of Rossi Ramirez and Cucho as a front three helps keep not only, opponents on their feet, but the team itself.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I think, and this nothing against, as Ian Newey puts in the reply, Jason, great guy, great player, but I think him still learning under a core like those three to make runs, to learn how to pop up in different spots at different times is good, because not only is she learning from a 2019 Golden Boot Diego Rossi. Was it 2020?
Yep.
Okay. Not only is he learning from the 2020 Golden Boot winner Diego Rossi, and Christian Ramirez and Cucho, but he's also being able to watch how they make their runs and how they play, so he can adapt to his style and how he plays with Nagbe, with Morris, with Yeboah, Farsi, and all them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I think Cucho is he needs to be a mainstay. And if it's not Ramirez, maybe it is Jason Russell Rowe with Cucho.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Also, I have yet to see any one of these guys except Cucho be able to drop back so deep into Columbus's defensive zone and be able to ping a ball from one side to the other to start a quick counterattack, right? Cucho knows how to play that ball and how to play it well. When he comes back so far, takes it one touch and then just swings it to the opposite side for Farsi, for Arfston, etc. Whoever it is that plays on that wing spot.
It's that slingshot.
Yeah.
Like he's pulling it back, and when he sees that right spot, he releases.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, for him, his vision, not only his feet, but his vision and what he can see where a player is going to go, so he sends the ball there, is just phenomenal, right? So yes, he does have to be in that lineup. You know what I'm saying? So It's not like, Inter Miami. I mean, yeah, they have different pieces that you could plug in for Messi, and it's still gonna, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Cucho is Columbus. He's the face,
and Columbus is Cucho.
See.
Last one that the one that I want to talk about right now is, I think, who was it who tweeted this? Was it Tom? No. There it is. Yep, there it is. Emiliano Rigoni officially waived and bought out by Austin FC. The move opens his DP spot and clear salary cap, roster space, international roster slot. Rigoni made 11 appearances this season. He was one appearance away from auto-triggering his 2025 contract option. Does Columbus make a move for Rigoni, or do we stay put?
I don't know who he is, honestly.
You might know if you see a picture of him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't pay attention too much to the barcodes. Unless it's Zardes or Drusy, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So, tell me about him, right?
I mean, he's made 6 appearances in his time with the club. So,
but he's an international player, though.
Yeah, he's like he had like been riddled with injury and whatnot. Not really like too much injuries, but like he really couldn't. I'd say like live up to the hype under Josh Wolf.
All right. So, what position?
Winger.
Winger. Does he fit Nazi standards for his system?
This is why I'm asking the question.
I mean, he's 31 too. I mean, if Nazi and Bez see something in him, at this point now, 2 years in with Nazi, I have all faith whatever moves they make, right?
Mm-hmm.
That they see something that we don't to fit the system, right? I think with how Nazi plays, you need somebody young on those wings, right?
Yeah.
Somebody that has, maybe Rigoni has speed, right? And it just takes the right system to unlock him. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I'll get back to you next week because I want to do some homework on him.
Yeah.
And, maybe look at some highlight videos from, wherever he played, whether overseas, Mexico, whatever.
I can't remember where he came from.
But
he went from somewhere to Austin. I just can't remember the team before Austin.
I want to do my homework before I can actually honestly answer this question. Because, when it was announced that we were getting Yevon, I did my homework.
guys, we have moved on from the fire. Y'all need to keep me on my toes in these comments. Shit. You're talking about Yevon.
When we said that we were going, we were signing Yevon, I did, I looked at my highlights, and the first thing I told you, I said, this kid is going to do something in the system. Yes, he came in halfway through the year, and it has taken him time. But look what Yevon has become.
Mm-hmm. He's done a complete 180 from last year's mistakes in the playoffs to, I'd say, probably, honestly, beating out Amundsen for a starting spot.
I mean, it's all but guaranteed.
Yeah, I know. But it's hard, though, because Amundsen's really good.
They both are. Oh. So you asked me about Rigoni.
I don't even know who the hell that is.
Jermaine Bertrame plays for Club America.
Nah, I see Monterey.
Or is it Monterey? Yeah, it is Monterey, I think.
I don't know, honestly. I again, I'd have to see. I mean, we just saw him twice in CONCACAF. I know nothing about him, so I can't really answer that.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly,
we'll take Mesa though. I mean, shit, we'll take Mesa off Monterey's hands.
Bertarame, I can't remember how old he is, but he's got some good
25.
skill. 25. Yeah, he's got some good skill from the highlight videos that I saw before we played him.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Portland was actually trying to sign him.
Yeah, I see that. I see that right here.
Yeah, Portland was trying to sign him. How long ago
was this?
A couple months.
Get off my March. Yeah, March of this year.
Yeah, that Portland was trying to sign him, and he backed out. So
15 million.
And I believe he's a forward.
He is.
Yeah. So that would be just like.
That would be.
Yeah.
It'd
be hard.
It'd be hard because if he is what I think he is, I don't see Cujo being bumped down to a bench spot at all.
I can see both of them on the pitch.
Okay. if we take into context this, I can get behind it.
Which is which is somebody like Bertarame or somebody with overseas that is a big star, right?
Yeah,
you would have to sell Cujo.
Yeah,
because you can't have two alphas like that on the team.
Doc.
It's gonna turn into toxic.
Bro. Hey, to be honest though, if the crew somehow miraculously pull this guy and get him and Cujo both on the field,
I mean, you honestly could.
You could.
You could have Bertarame, Cujo, and Rossi.
Yeah, so Ramirez and Matan just get dropped to the bench.
I mean, that would be great. I mean, honestly, keep it honest with me. Does Christian play better coming off the bench or starting? Now, if you say he's better on starting, is that because he's the one out there directing the show instead of Cujo?
In my opinion, I think Ramirez is better off the bench.
But here's also a thing too. If you had Bertarame and Cujo out there on the pitch, right, with Rossi, knock on wood, they don't get hurt, right? But one of them gets hurt, right? Now you have the same type of lineup that we have now.
Mm-hmm.
You would still have a star out there like Bertarame that would still require 1 to 2 defenders, right? Still have Diego. You would still be able to have Christian, Jason, or Marino. You still would be able to have Matan. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's. I could see Bez going to get him, right? But like Connor or Manuel said, we would have, and in hindsight, you would have to get rid of Cucho, right? So, but that'd be rough having Marino and Bertarame, Pachuca versus Monterey.
Yeah, I know, right? I know, right?
But
moving on.
There's still hope to get Lucas back.
Dude, I really want Lucas. Moving on. Jerald, my friend, your favorite. Did they play?
Yes, they did. They had a midweek match.
All right. Jerald, my friend, you know what time it is. Take it away.
Welcome to this evening's edition of Cappy's Corner. As the Cappies were in play Wednesday to start the whole day off for the Columbus organization, they took on Orlando City B, the Baby Lions out of Orlando, at lower.com field. It was a special day for school kids to, go on a field trip and, skip school pretty much to go see, soccer, right? Game was high energy. Jaden Daw did get his first goal of the season. He was the first-round draft pick for the Columbus Crew in this year's draft. He did, he hails from Duquesne University, so his transition from college to pro it's been slow, but he had a great heading goal, which put the Cappies up 1-0. OCB came back, scored. And then Cole Maroka got a goal. I believe it was either Cole or no, it was Chase Adams.
I said Cole was in Montreal.
Yeah. Chase Adams got the goal. And then I think they went into halftime either 1-1 or 2-1. Then OCB came back, scored a goal. Then Columbus got an own goal to put it up 3-3. And then, shit. I had it on the top of my head too today. But the fourth goal was, bear with me, guys. Come on now. Gotta love internet, right? Let's see here. It was Rio. He scored in the 76th minute. The Crew did score 2 goals in 2 minutes. So it was Rio in the 76th. OCB. Chase Adams scored in the 27th. Jaden Daw in the 18th. So Orlando did get on top the first. The first goal of the game. Then Columbus came back, tied it. But Columbus did get an own. Orlando City did get an own goal. And then right after that, Rio had just came into the game. Jabron Rio came into the game and then scored, shortly after that. So Cappies won 4-3 at lower.com field. They kicked off Wednesday's action with a bang, which gave, the whole organization of the Columbus Crew momentum as they took on Montreal north of the border. And we know how that one ended up. So Cappies are back in action, I believe, Sunday against Chicago Fire 2 out there in Chicago. So tune in and cheer the Cappies on.
I disagree, Connor.
Yeah, well, I'll touch on that here in a second. You want to change the banner?
Yeah, thanks, dude.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Moving on to this weekend's matchup against Orlando City, the Lions. Did we play them earlier in the year?
Not yet.
No. Maybe I'm thinking of it. Maybe I'm thinking of last year.
Last year at this time, we had already played, or we were playing them for the first time.
Okay. Maybe it's just all the CONCACAF and all the CONCACAF matches that we played. It really messed me up. By the way, Jesus Christ, Toronto FC are absolutely just pouring it on to Saint Laurent in the Canadian Championship. It is currently 2 minutes ago in the 80th minute. The score is 8-0.
Jesus.
Yeah.
This is Open Cup?
Nah, the Canadian Championship.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Quarterfinal. So anyway, so moving on to this weekend, to this weekend's matchup against the Orlando City Lions.
It's not the same team as last year, man.
It's not. It's really not.
This could go one or two ways. Yes, playing down there in Orlando has always been rough for Columbus. Case in point, we saw what happened last year, right? At the end of the regular season. Just a couple bad plays by Molino and Yevon. But Yevon made up for it, though, in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's when that team, that Orlando team was looking tough. So it could either be bad for Columbus because, Orlando, is coming off of a win, right? A last second, goal by Jack Lynn. Or Columbus just decimates the Lions and sends them on a early trip to Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Duncan McGuire is out because I guess he got injured in their last match, and it looked to be a very severe injury.
That's going to hurt him with the summer window because Blackburn reps are coming.
One of those are coming back to start talks again.
Yeah.
So that's going to hurt stock.
Yeah, if it's a severe injury like that, like what you're saying, then that stock with Blackburn is, and Blackburn needs him. Blackburn desperately needs him if they want to get promoted, right?
Well, it's gonna have to be next year. Oh wait, are they in League 2?
Yeah,
League. Okay, so I think that's over. So it'd have to be next year
because Wrexham got promoted to League 1.
Yeah, they did, didn't they?
Yeah,
they did.
3 promotions in 3 years. Jesus. 2 promotions.
Yeah. Yeah, McGuire. I'm pretty sure McGuire's hurt. And Orlando, if I'm not mistaken, they just lost to Philly.
No, they
or was that the midweek game?
That was the midweek.
Was that the midweek? Okay, who did they
beat?
Play?
It was a 1-0 win It might have been Galaxy.
San Jose.
Okay, yeah.
Philly was last week.
Yeah. Where they got murdered?
3-2. Or they played Philly 3-2.
Still, they were still getting murdered, on everything else.
Philly or Orlando?
Orlando.
They won. I mean, they won 3-2 against Philly. Tied 0-0 against Miami. That's the game. That's the midweek game. Was the Miami match. That was the midweek game.
Okay.
And then they beat Orlando. They beat San Jose 1-0.
And that was Jacqueline's, late minute goal.
Yes.
So, I mean, they're coming off of a win, but when you got a strong team like Columbus and you haven't been playing that well, I mean, yeah, okay, you beat Philly, right? You drew with Miami. But you got a team like Columbus that you got depth pieces there for Columbus, right? So it's hard to it's hard to prepare to how, and Pereira is just not he's not having a good team with this team.
Right.
Like I said, it could go either one or two ways. It could be, somehow they luck up and get a magic potion from Mickey Mouse and come out and it's the stronger team.
Mm-hmm.
Or Columbus goes in there and decimates him and sends him back to have a tea party with, Mickey Mouse in his clubhouse.
Orlando currently lead the series. 10 wins, 4 draws. Columbus have 7 wins. The Crew were able to secure that's the playoff match. But the last 3 outings, 2-0 to Columbus. That was the Eastern Conference semis. We know the 4-3 comeback from Orlando after being up 3-0. And then earlier in the season, Columbus and Orlando played a 2-2 draw. So we have outscored Orlando in the last 3 matches across all competitions 7-6, which is a very tight matchup.
Yeah.
For a series like this. Stats are pretty much well even. Just by looking at everything here. Stats pretty much even. We lead on shots. We lead on shots on goal. Even on block shots, passes we lead on. Passing accuracy we lead on. They get more corners than we do. We're offside more than they are.
Thanks,
and then you get down here. Yeah, I know. Then you get down here, it's just Orlando everything. But offensively, it's pretty much even. So, looking at these stats, what conclusion can you draw as to what might come Saturday?
Just looking at those stats right there, if Orlando and Columbus both have healthy teams, we're in for some good football. We are in for an absolute, dogfight. But it's kind of the last couple matches, though. It's one team hasn't been completely at full strength. So it's close, right? I mean, you got 13.2 to 13 shots. Columbus is 13.2 versus Orlando's 13, right? So, you got shots on goal for was that 49?
4.9.
4.9 versus 4.1. So, I mean, they're pretty much even with Columbus, right? So, Uh, mm, it's a tough game, honestly.
Yeah.
But I keep
I
on saying there's two outcomes to it.
yeah, I think we're inching closer to Makucho making a comeback this week. Right?
We'll see.
I think we'll see Cucho this week.
I think so too, just because you want him to have that game speed,
Yeah.
considering what next week is, right? You want him to have, a game under his belt coming off of an injury. Here's the thing. You can have him either start so he gets a full 90, or you can have him come in at halftime and do a 45.
Yeah.
So
I kind of like the latter option.
the halftime.
Yeah. I kind of like the latter option on that.
I do too, because you don't want to put too much strain on, his injury coming back.
Yeah.
And having him run a full 90 and knowing that he's probably going to have to run a full 90 against Pachuca. Not probably. He will have to run a full 90.
Yeah.
Pretty much the starting 11 will have to pretty much run a full 90 against Pachuca. Right?
Yeah.
It's gonna be, unless Columbus is up 4-0, 4-1.
One can only hope.
Listen. I can hope, but that's the only way that I see like Cucho or Diego coming out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is if Columbus has to be destroying Pachuca and they're up, late into the game, like 4-1, to bring them off. Otherwise, everybody that starts that game against Pachuca is going to be going to full 90.
Yeah.
So I think
maybe 90 plus.
Gee, I'm not no more overtime. No more PKs, no more overtime down in Mexico, damn it. But I see him running 45 against Orlando.
Yeah.
But you never know, right?
Yeah, right. I think Orlando's struggling right now. I mean, yeah, they're 10th in the East. They're 10th, right? Yes. I don't remember seeing this. Yeah, they're sitting 10th in the East. With what's that? 3-4-6 win-loss or 4-5-4.
Yeah.
Win-loss tie record. However, their home record really isn't that good. Sitting at a 1-3-3 home record. Meanwhile, we're 2-1-3 on the road,
which is shocking this year.
I know, right? I just don't see Orlando and being Orlando that we know of last year.
Yeah, last year they were okay on the road, but at home they were just.
I think they had a great record at home last year.
They did have a great record at home. It was almost like Columbus's record at home, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They were stronger at home, but okay on the road.
Yeah.
And the same thing was, for Columbus last year, we were great at home. Just our road record sucked.
Mm-hmm.
But this year already now have 2 road wins. Which is saying that they're finding something that clicks now, right?
Yeah.
They're finding something that works for them, that they're able to keep, getting those road wins.
And that Orlando Heat's going to play a factor too.
Yeah. And I you know what? Here's the funny thing. I love that we have the Orlando game right before Pachuca. Both places are hot. Except for Pachuca is about 7,000, feet above sea level. So you're also battling heat and elevation, right? Versus you're going down into Orlando that has swamp weather, the swamp heat, which is hotter than Satan's balls. So I like that it's getting the players used to heat on the road, if that makes sense. So they can sort of, get the feel of what to expect when they go back down to Mexico.
Yeah.
Because they haven't been there in, 2-3 weeks? About 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah. Yep. 2-3 weeks.
So it's hotter now. It's going to be hotter now than it was back then.
Yeah.
So
for sure. Obviously we'll give our prediction here shortly. I also want to say I do think that a much needed week of training this week is due for the guys. I do like that. However, I do kind of agree with Christian and what he said. Wilfried and Jules are probably going to run them into the ground all week. So first day back to training was today, so they probably got ran into the ground today. So
I bet you they were all sitting there taking ice baths.
Oh, I bet they were.
Somebody probably dove head first into one of them,
probably more than likely. It was probably everybody. Golly. Moving on. Now we give our aforementioned MLS predictions. Jerald, my friend.
Hold on. FanDuel's not loaded.
Hang on. I wasn't even gonna start. Relax. Golly.
You better not say it because you got your nerve.
That's gross. I'm literally pulling up the freaking schedule. Jesus Christ. So Jesus hell. So starting on, do we have any games on Sunday? I think so. I don't know.
No Sunday games?
No Sunday games. Everybody plays on Saturday.
Yeah, because Memorial Day's on Monday.
Yeah, that's true. All right, Jerald, my friend. So starting at 7:30 from Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Atlanta versus LAFC.
LAFC.
Yeah, that's pretty standard, given the way Atlanta's playing. Currently,
damn it, Connor.
Currently in the 95th minute, they're in extra time against Charleston Battery in the Open Cup.
Are they winning?
It's tied 0-0.
Jesus.
So LAFC, Atlanta LAFC. You said
LAFC.
LAFC. I'm gonna go LAFC 3-0.
I see it.
Yeah, that's pretty. Atlanta is just
trash.
Yeah, they're not good.
They're trash. Listen, I'm surprised he lasted longer than Gary Smith.
Gonzalo Pineda?
Yes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He should have been the first one fired.
Yeah. Gonzalo Pineda he's not good at all. So next up, Charlotte, Philadelphia.
Charlotte, Philly. It's at Bank of America, right?
Yeah, Bank of America.
That's always a tough place to play, man. Besides the turf. Give me Charlotte.
Charlotte?
Yeah.
I'm going to go draw on this. I'm going to go draw. I just think, both these teams, they're good. Charlotte might have the advantage because they're at home, but I think Philly is going to gain a little bit of extra momentum to kind of put up a fight now that they've re-signed Andre Blake.
Yeah.
So,
because he was getting unhappy there.
He was definitely. From Audi Field, DC versus Chicago Fire.
DC.
Yeah,
I
can see that.
We saw what's going on with Klopas.
Oh my God, yeah. Boy, did we ever.
Man, and you got the Flying Benteques at home. Don't get me wrong, Chris Brady's a good keeper,
He is.
but you're going up against Benteke.
Yeah, I'll take DC also. Montreal, Nashville from Stade Saputo.
I think this is a rebound for Laurent. Is people count, because he did have some people injured.
Mm-hmm.
Are they coming back? But it just, I'm gonna go draw, honestly.
Draw.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Nashville. I think that win that they had, I think they won over the weekend. I think that win that they had, it kind of gave them a little bit of a boost now that Gary Smith's out.
Which sucked, man.
And I think that game against Nashville's gonna kick Montreal while they're down.
Yeah.
But I can see a draw, but I'm probably going to give Nashville a slight 2-1 win. So, New England, New York City.
Really?
Okay, sweet. I'm moving on then. Toronto, FC Cincinnati.
This one's going to be interesting. Yeah, no, yes, Toronto did play Montreal, but Bernardeschi needs to keep those braids because he looked like Godzilla lighting up before he did his laser, his death beam and all that. Just was lighting up the score sheet, right? He got a hat trick.
Got it, yep. Got player of the match day.
You're playing in Toronto. So you're at home in front of all your, all your fans. Cincy, I mean, they still have a little bit of issues.
Is that issue a 6'4" center back?
Name Owen Gold-Miazga. I just, yeah. I'm going Toronto, man.
Toronto. I'm going Cincinnati. Only because I think Kevin Kelsey is the guy that Cincinnati has been looking for to replace Brandon Vasquez.
Who, Halsey?
Yeah. No, Kevin Kelsey.
Kevin Kelsey, okay.
No, Halsey is a shitbag. He sucks. Kevin Kelsey, the dude who scored against us the first goal.
Yeah, I don't want to bring that
up. I'm going Cincinnati on that one.
I mean, that's a safe bet. Bet is going with Cincy.
Mm-hmm.
But if Bernardeschi can keep the momentum from his game against Montreal and, keep it up towards Cincinnati, I think Toronto can pull the upset.
Yeah. Dallas, Salt Lake.
Salt Lake.
Yeah.
Even though Dallas did get a win, I think it was over Houston.
Yes, they did.
You still got the likes of Diego Luna and Chicho.
Yeah.
Who's leading the Golden Boot race, right? Excuse me, right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Salt Lake also. St. Louis, Seattle.
Draw.
Yeah. Yeah. I see that. They're in St. Louis City, so they're at City Park, so St. Louis might
black magic.
St. Louis might be able to pull a win out.
It's a draw.
See now I want to go St. Louis.
Safe bet is a draw.
Yeah, it is. Safe bet is a draw. Colorado, Minnesota.
Two of my favorite teams in the West, man. Because I just like what Eric Ramsey's doing with Minnesota.
Did you say you dislike or you just like?
No, two teams that I like out in the West.
Right, but did you say you dislike what Eric Ramsey's doing in Minnesota, or you just like what Eric?
I
Ramsey's
like what
doing?
he's doing.
I thought you said I dislike what Eric Ramsey's doing in
No.
Minnesota.
No. I like what he's doing out there and the resurgence that he's brought to Minnesota, right?
Mhm.
Bringing that Premier League experience over. Yes, he was on Man U's, staff, right? And yes, they've had some horrible seasons, but
Ten Hog out.
he still has that experience though with a storied Premier League team, right? Such as Man U. So he knows, what it takes as a coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
So and what he's been able to do with the absence of Reynosa, from the team, what he's able to do with everybody else. But you also know I like Colorado. I like what Chris Armas is doing out there. They just had the Rocky Mountain Cup with Real, and it was the highest scoring, Rocky Mountain Cup game in history.
5-3.
Yeah. So I'm going to go draw, man. Even though Colorado's favored, I'm going to go draw, man, because it's going to be two teams fighting.
I'm going to go Minnesota. That's just me. I think Minnesota has the upper hand. I agree with you. I do like what Eric Ramsey is doing in Minnesota. However, I think with I can't remember. I can't pronounce the name to save my life. I'm not even gonna look it up. They have some underrated players in Minnesota that are starting to find their form and get the goals that they need to get the points in the West.
Our friends with the Lunacy podcast, touched on is it Jiyoung? The Asian kid that's on their first team that got brought up from Minnesota too. It's Jeong.
Okay, I know who you're talking about now. Yes.
Yeah, who's severely underrated, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
We saw him a little bit, when the Crew played. And he's just, he was beating our guys down to the corners. You know what I'm saying? Down to the baseball.
I think you're talking about somebody else.
It might be.
Hang on. I know exactly who you're talking about. He's a winger.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you're right. Jong Seng Bin.
Yeah.
Yeah, him. Yeah.
He's underrated.
He's fast as shit. For a 22-year-old, he's fast as shit.
But, like I said, I like Minnesota. I like Colorado. It's at Dick's Sporting Goods, stadium.
Mm-hmm.
I look for a draw. Maybe a 1-1, a 2-2.
Yeah. The forwards I'm talking about, Bongo Kule Halangwane and Tani Alawasi.
Yeah.
Alawasi. Those two are freaking ballers.
They are, and they're not getting the credit,
that they deserve.
Yeah.
Yeah. You went draw, right?
Yeah.
I'm going Minnesota. All right. San Jose, Austin from PayPal Park.
Hernan Lopez with a brace.
San Jose then?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Galaxy, Dynamo.
I just don't think Drusy, with how San Jose has come alive now that they signed Hernan Lopez, I just don't see Austin's defense holding up.
Yeah.
And you said Galaxy Houston?
Yep.
I'm rocking with the Galaxy, man. I've been rocking with them all year. You know, there have been some letdowns, you know, from him, but Gabriel Peck, Ricky Pouge, Joseph Pancil. Houston's down right now, honestly.
Yeah, they are, man. They are. They really are.
I mean, you got Hector Herrera, you got Coco, you got Coco.
Karaskia, whatever.
Yeah, whatever the hell
yeah.
his damn name is.
I think it's
Yeah,
Karaskia or something like that. I
something
know
like
it's
that.
yeah.
You got Amin Bossy, which he's an asshole. So, I mean, give me Galaxy.
Karaskia, that's who it is. Coco Karaskia. Yep, that's who it is. You said who? Galaxy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say Galaxy also.
2-0.
Timbers, KC.
KC.
Really?
Neville hasn't showed me nothing.
He hasn't showed anybody anything, but
that's what I'm saying though. Like, I thought it would have been a great chance for him to revive his coaching career.
Yeah.
You know, because you're talking about, you got Maxime Crepeau, you got Evander, you got what's his name? You know more than me. I think he's a midfielder.
Chara?
You got Chara, yeah. You got Chara. You know, so I mean, you got players, you got skilled players on there, right? But you're not getting the most out of them.
Yeah.
So, you know, I thought that, you know, he could have revived his coaching career, maybe changed the style up, you know, made it a little more interesting, but Neville out too.
So you're going KC?
Well, as much as I don't like Peter Vermees, because the guy somehow finds a way to keep his job year in and year out.
No, he just does. He does the bare minimum.
Yeah, give me KC, man.
KC. I'm gonna go draw on that. I'm gonna go probably a 1-1 draw.
1-1 draw
on that. Yeah. Last game, Vancouver, Miami.
Go draw.
Draw.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm going to draw.
I got Miami. Safe bet.
They're both even right now.
Yeah, I know. But Miami. I like Miami. That's just me, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you can say it's self-explanatory as to why I chose Miami. But
they got more players besides him.
Yeah, which is why I kind of went with Miami, because I think Campana kind of being overlooked behind all the hype. He's a damn good player.
He's a damn good player, but he fucked my parlay up.
Well, take that up with Campana.
Shit, it was pouring down rain there, and I'm like, yes, it's gonna be a drop. Gets subbed in, it gets the game-winning goal.
Correct. Correct.
Asshole. The heavyweight fight of the weekend.
I did forget about that one, didn't I?
In this corner, we have
Columbus or Orlando City, Columbus from Inter & Co Stadium.
Now, this is what's making me mad about. Like, I get why FanDuel did it, but they have Orlando favored over Columbus.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
And it's not still it doesn't have it in the plus whatever. It's minus. So, you know who I'm rocking with? I'm rocking with the Crew, the original black and gold. As you see, I got the Catch and Cheer shirt on right now. You know, look for him to play and him to score. But I also look for a header though from Christian. So if we get a chance to talk to Christian, it's going to be one of those where can you take the wristband back down to Orlando with you?
Yeah, I know, right? I know, right?
Or can you at least take it with you and have it somewhere on you when you're playing?
Yeah.
So,
I got Columbus, obviously.
yeah.
I think with the way that the Crew are playing and with the 2 wins on the road, we're looking to carry that momentum back onto the road against Orlando. And take Orlando's struggles and show them how bad they're struggling.
I'm just going to put it out here like this. The season doesn't start until after June 1st. So all y'all teams out there in MLS right now, all 27 other active or 28 other active teams right now, y'all are being warned.
Until Leagues Cup.
Until the season starts June 2nd.
Until Leagues Cup. And then we have another disruption.
That's our international break right there. That's MLS's way of saying we're going to give a break away from Columbus, the rest of the league away, especially after when they go down there and win CONCACAF, because you won't be able to tell Columbus shit after them winning the Champions Cup. I wonder if we get a parade.
No.
Oh, come on.
Nope, not in the middle of the season. No.
We just have to win MLS Cup again, and we have two trophies on the parade.
Correct. Pardon me. Last segment of the show. Joe, my friend, I'm pretty sure you have both of them. I'll let you start.
So my yellow card would happen to be Chicago drivers. That's my yellow card, because you got people not paying attention to what they're doing. They don't use their damn turn signals. And, look how many times people cut us off, not paying attention what the hell they were doing or coming close. You almost got hit on your side by a semi-truck, as he was trying to get on the fucking freeway. So, yeah. So that's my yellow card. My red card is Chicago Press. That is my damn red card. I cannot stand it. If anybody out there has been, a credentialed media person, there is a set of etiquette that you're supposed to follow in the press box. I don't think these media members got the memo out there in Chicago that you don't sit there and show your bias, in the press box like they were. Am I correct, Ty? So I didn't need bail money, because the guy next to me was actually trying to bait me into saying something, with what he, the stuff he was saying. And I didn't like it. I don't like it. People need to go back to press box etiquette 101. Because I think they'll get the wrong person in the press box the one time that will snap. And then it's a bad ordeal for, whoever's in there, right? If it's an away team, if it's another, home team, whatever the case may be. If somebody snaps in there on those media people, then it's a bad look on the whole party. So, their comms people was actually pretty nice. Helpful. Making sure we know what time gates opened and where to park. But other than that, those dumb fucks that were sitting next to us, they need to go back to class. And I rest my case, Your Honor. Pardon the language.
I really don't have a
Prize Picks.
Oh, because they're not legal in Ohio?
Yeah, it could be a yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yellow card of Prize Picks because it's not legal in Ohio. I think it's better than FanDuel, honestly.
It really is, yo.
That's just me, though. But I mean, hey,
when you guys are outside of Ohio, try Prize Picks.
Yeah, it's actually very cool. Yeah, it is. It's very cool.
You can
huh?
You can win more money.
Yeah, I know. $40 is going to be sitting there.
Hey, look, Wisemen Say has a total of 48. Okay.
Hey, as far as red cards, I don't have a red card actually.
Give it time, you'll get one.
Yeah, I know. Other than that, good show.
Great show.
Great show. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Thanks all 90 fans that tuned in tonight.
Yeah, shout out you guys. Appreciate y'all if you're watching on Twitter or YouTube. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate everybody in the comments checking us out, interacting with us. We love it. You guys can follow the show on social media, on Twitter at Wiseman Pod, on TikTok at the Wisemen Say at Wiseman Pod, on Instagram at the Wisemen Say Podcast. Obviously, subscribe to our YouTube channel. You guys can follow Jerald on Twitter.
You can catch me at Jerald_Lucas96.
You guys can catch me on Twitter at Fisher Tyler __. Be sure to rate the show if you guys listen to it anywhere you guys get your podcasts. Leave a review. We love to see them. Be sure to check out the supporter link if you guys feel like donating to the show to help us get to anywhere and everywhere to cover games, bring you guys content. Be sure to check out the supporter link in the bio in the description box on Spotify. If not, be sure to share the show with your friends, family, loved ones. Tell them who we are, and hopefully get more listeners. Also, be sure to check out our merchandise store by clicking the there's a link tree bio in our Twitter. Click on that, get on the merch store. You'll find us. You'll find actually everywhere. Just click on Linktree and link in the bio on Twitter. You guys can catch us everywhere. Everything's there, and whatnot. It's been a fun time. Great show.
It's always a great show when we're together.
Am I missing anything?
No.
All righty then. Be sure to check us out sometime next week. Finalizing details for a big show. Previewing the CONCACAF Champions Cup final against Pachuca.
Clash of the
on Saturday. Yeah. Other than that, stay safe, stay cool, stay hydrated, hug your loved ones. And as tradition goes, Wisemen say,
only fools rush in.
Peace out, everybody. Have a good weekend. Go Crew.
Stay wise, y'all.